Welcome, everyone, to the Pioneer paper. I am Randall Young. I am a contributor to the paper, and today I have with me Edgar Chavez, who is the executive director of Hayward Promise Neighborhoods. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for the invitation, Randall. Excited to chat with you.
Yeah, no worries. So, the first time we talked, I was going to the student-led seminar. Actually, Anthony Jackson led the seminar, but he had a student panel, and he invited 45 Tennyson high school students to the campus, to check it out, do the tour. But I went to the seminar and I thought that was awesome. The kids were engaged. They were asking good questions. But I wanted to ask you, how many other schools besides Tennyson are in the Hayward Promise neighborhoods?
Yeah, so I'm glad you got to attend that event. Coach Jackson he certainly energizes anybody's day with anytime we're around him. And so he's really been a key part of that effort to engage students. Interestingly enough, we've had three iterations of Hayward Promise neighborhoods. And so over time, we've served many schools. The most current program has expanded to 11 schools in Hayward. And so Tennyson High School has been part of all three programs over the course of 12 years. Hayward High School is another high school, and then Brankwitz Alternative High School. Those are our three high schools that we're working with. Three additional middle schools, Chavez Middle School, Bret Hart Middle School, and Winton Middle School. And I just came back from visiting one of our elementary school sites, Burbank Elementary,
Nice.
Cherryland Elementary, Fairview, East Avenue, and Harder. So altogether serving 11 schools, and these schools were identified based on where children are living. And so the boundaries are within the Hayward Promise neighborhood zone. We expanded to serve those schools.
Thank you. Yeah, cool. And so the event on campus, that hosted the high school students, that's one of many events
Mhm.
that, the program does. So, could you explain to us, a little bit more about what other programs you guys have?
Yeah, so Hayward Promise Neighborhoods is organized around a coordinated effort with 12 other agencies. And so we actually collaborate with agencies on programming. So every agency leads a segment of this cradle to career pathway.
Hmm.
And so we have programs that are initiative funds starting at before birth. So we have a home nursing practitioner program where nurses come and visit homes with children who are newly born to the neighborhood, do assessment, screening, support families with resources. We have early learning programs where we have toddler play and learn and parent education programs to help kids get on to a good start in life with additional resources supporting parents in that transition. We partner closely with the Hayward Unified School District. They implement about a third of programs, all the way from newcomer services and coordinated services to after school activities. We fund early learning, English learning specialists, and then we work with their entire community schools teams as well. And then Chabot College is an integral partner. They provide additional after school services, summer programs. We have been working with other service providers like La Familia, providing counseling services, Tiburcio Vasquez Health Center. They do have a community outreach program. So we actually try to go to families, bring services to them as well, door to door at times, or we participate every fair. So it's a pretty comprehensive. It's over 50 programs that are
Wow,
aligned and coordinated with Hayward Promise neighborhoods.
that's awesome. So, you said that, you guys received the grant again 2 times. And so, you know, what does it take? What does the Department of Education look at when deciding, oh, should we give, Hayward this grant again?
Yeah, so actually we're on our third grant, and this is it's a competitive process. And so what happens, we were a part of the first cohort of grantees nationally. So there were about four or five cities that were identified nationally. And so it is a competitive application process where you have to identify um, uh, an actual neighborhood based on zip code, based on any boundary that you can define, identify the needs of those neighborhoods, work with schools in partnership. And so you have to really provide a comprehensive, coordinated plan, both that demonstrates that you have the infrastructure to manage
Hmm.
such a large grant. It's $30 million. It's the largest grant that the university also receives and manages. And so as Cal State East Bay, we had the infrastructure to bring those funds, coordinate them out to programs, ensure that programs are delivering on those services, as I mentioned, from birth to post-secondary and beyond, and then be able to monitor outcomes, monitor data, monitor systems for reporting. And so you have to deliver that plan up front, and that's your contract with the U.S. Department of Ed. So we've met our contracts every grant, and so it just made our program even more robust and our strength in our infrastructure to able to receive each time. So most programs may choose not to renew because it is a lot of work to
Yes.
deliver on such a large scale.
The after your second grant that you guys got, the South Hayward Promise neighborhood was, created. So, with more grants, will you guys be able to expand to, more cities or more neighborhoods within Hayward?
It's possible. So after South Hayward, now we extend into the downtown, and so every grant we have to expand to a new neighborhood. We can serve the same schools, but we have to expand to new neighborhoods. I think in the next 5 years, we're going to kind of be doing an assessment. But in order to expand from the South Hayward to the downtown service area, we had to do an analysis of the entire city of Hayward and look at every census tract and see where particularly child poverty rates were the highest. And in order to even consider a new grant, we really looked at, is there still a need in Hayward
Hmm.
beyond the neighborhoods that we're serving? And there clearly was. The Mission Foothill census tract at the time that we applied had the highest poverty rate in the city. And so there's still pockets of Hayward communities that are where children are still growing up with low income households. And we know that the zip code and census tract a child grows up in defines their life outcomes. And so
Hmm.
we are still looking at those neighborhoods. And this new grant actually expanded slightly beyond the borders of the city of Hayward to unincorporated Cherryland, unincorporated Alameda County. So that's the first time we've all started to expand beyond the city limits. And because of the schools that are served, not some of the schools served beyond the city's footprint. So now we're looking at ways to continue to support and expand services. If the demand's there within 3 or 4 or 5 years and funding comes and it allows us to do the coordination, then we'll continue to expand. But we're also looking to ensure that we continue to sustain what we're doing. And I think that's been one of the biggest challenges when the influx of a lot of resources and funds after 5 years, how do you keep that work going? And the only way to do that is just to make sure our agencies continue to get other sources of funding to continue to do the work that
Definitely.
is important to the community.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So as far as, keeping the programs robust and um, potentially expanding, what are some other goals for Hayward Promise neighborhoods in 2024 and beyond?
Awesome. Yeah. And so every time we receive a new grant, the first year is a lot of planning and strengthening the infrastructure. So we're lucky that we're able to transition and pivot. But this new grant, the biggest challenge is how do you do more with the same amount of resources? And so we went from working with 5 schools to 11. And so right now we're looking and coordinating how do we scale? How do we reach? And the needs are very high, much higher than we've ever imagined. And so right now the biggest things that we're looking at are addressing chronic absenteeism in schools post-pandemic. Absenteeism has skyrocketed, and we went from an average of like 17% of students being chronically absent to 50%. It's gone down to 40, and hoping we keep going down further. And so that's one of the challenges. How do we help schools keep kids engaged? And we're working across the city with partners to figure out how do we come together. So it's both city and community coming together, make sure kids are going to school. And also just really identifying and activating community leadership. And so we're excited to launch our community leadership initiative at Cal State East Bay. that will train folks in the community who've already received some kind of entry point to community engagement, whether it be a school ambassador program or a training with our healthcare providers, but now they want to do more. And so we train them around establishing, coordinating events, policy making. We teach them how government works, and so that they can better utilize their skills and advocacy to push for the things that they need. And so balancing both school engagement and community engagement is kind of our goal in the next several months.
I did see that you guys have free food stations, or it's at one location, but you guys do it every Tuesday, Thursday?
Yeah, so we partnered with a private organization called 56SIVA, and so it's a group that's a nonprofit group that formed in the East Bay, and they've been cooking for the community twice a week since July.
Wow.
And we are there to support with volunteers. We help coordinate the space with Hayward Area Parks and Recs Department and in the city library. And so we bring our volunteers. Sometimes we bring Cal State East Bay volunteers. And yeah, so the community, we're in station in the tip of the Jackson Triangle where food insecurity is the highest. And part of it is to continue to promote healthy eating. The food's always healthy, vegetarian food. And then once a month on the fourth Monday of the month, we offer fresh foods. And so families, we have over 150 families come and get produce and dry goods through the Alameda County Community Food Bank. And so folks kind of know that food resources are there. It's walkable, it's in the park, and we bring our staff and volunteers.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'd have to get in
Yeah.
touch with you because I would honestly love to volunteer with that and help out.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention, that on top of working with the community, we monitor all the Hayward High School area graduates, support them at Cal State East Bay. We also invite all Cal State East Bay students who want to be part of this. We have worked with the College Core program, and we have Promise Interns program here, and link them and connect them back into the community. So there's a lot work that our students can also be part of.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I really appreciate you meeting with me today. We got a lot of valuable information. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Randall. I love this interview. Love working and connecting with you and our Cal State East Bay students, and looking forward to continue connecting in the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.